This is Prince Shango, and you're now listening to Three Count Podcast. You should really pay attention, because I'm watching you. You want to play?
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, as always, because, I do this. And I'm here to lead you on an expedition today. So let's get down to business. This is Now Entering the Ring, which means one thing, we have a special guest for you. And that special guest comes from Reality of Wrestling. She comes from Sabotage. She also has the local wrestling, and you can more importantly find her on Mission Pro. She is 1/3 of Queendom. Give it up for Danni Bee.
Hello.
Hey. I'm mad excited. It's so weird that I just flipped like that. But I'm so excited to hear on the show.
Here.
It's funny because I watched a few interviews with you, and a couple of people that we've actually featured on the show. So O-Face Wrestling Podcast, they've been one of our guests, and I saw your interview and I was like, oh dang, I'm gonna reach out and get her on the show because it's lit.
Oh yeah.
But so let's kick this off, right? So right before we were getting started, we were talking about our goals is to hit different places, right? So as you had mentioned, one of yours was the East Coast, and I actually had mentioned that one of mine is actually the Third Coast. So I want to hit up the Texas area and get into Oklahoma and stuff. I'm curious though, because you said it's a different world. I'm just very curious, what do you know about the East Coast, wrestling
Man,
wise?
I only know from what I see on YouTube, and it's every day I see a new face from up there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are so amazing. And it's just because I've met people that came from that area down here, and it's just the way they talk and act, and wrestling is such a different world over there. I'm like, I have to go over there and wrestle.
It's funny because I was just about to tell you, I was in the military, so I've moved from place to place to place, all over. So I've been, and you're right, Texas is 100% different from what Maryland is, but then what I'm actually from this place called Scottsbluff, Nebraska. So there's just different worlds altogether. It's so weird. And the wrestling style, even for even just
Yes.
in the Midwest, is just different from the South to the
Yes.
East Coast.
Different.
I'm super hyped though, man. I last year, right before the pandemic really took over, Will
Yes.
All Day was actually here in Baltimore, and
Oh, that dope. And Corona just messed everything up, man. I could have been over there by now.
right, I was like, yo, and that's why I was working, and I just started last year, so right January 2020 is when I made my pro training debut, and I was like,
Man.
yeah, I'm in a pro ring now. I'm working my ass off, and then Corona shut it down, and then instead of just sitting here moping and hoping that things will open up, I started reaching out to other people, and thus the show was born. And next thing you
Yeah.
know, here we are.
Corona definitely made people think outside the box and realize that they have other talents. So it was a good thing out of Corona, I would say too.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get into this because I want to know. I have my first question, which is, who is Danni Bee?
Oh, Danni Bee is a Southern girl from a small city in Oklahoma who moved to Texas to gain, better wrestling skills. And now she has to fight all these rude, mean Texas girls. And yes, but it's just so I knew I was gonna become a heel when I got here because everybody in Texas hates Oklahoma. So I was like, all right, y'all already don't like me from the jump, so let's just run with that.
Listen, I see you with the Oklahoma State University code, okay? I have to ask because I heard about this, and I want to ask somebody who's from Stillwater, right? So I got to ask this question. So there was a rumor about a contractor who was laying down brick to the stadium, and in a certain area he laid down a darker red to make an O and a U in the brick. And I'm wondering if that was because I heard that the school sued and they won, and obviously the guy had to replace all the brick and
Right.
thing.
Let me ask you about that. That's funny.
Yeah, I was I was like, dang, rivalry runs deep down there. I was like,
It really can.
like we have like in state wise, we don't have like in Nebraska, because that's my team.
Right.
I'm a huge Nebraska fan. We don't have like another team to rivalry against. So we have like Iowa or like Colorado or Wyoming. We can rival with those schools, but it's not really like a rivalry, except for like Iowa, which I don't like
Right.
Iowa anyway. But nonetheless, I was like, to have like another university in your state to like, you have that in-state rivalry is like lit.
Literally.
Yeah, so I was curious, like did you go to OSU?
Actually I did not, but it's funny because my dad went to OU, my brother went to OSU. So it's like I have love for both. So people ask me all the time, which one do you like? I'm like, I like everybody. I'm a fan of everyone.
The safe answer. It's the safe answer.
Yes.
And to be fair, like don't act like it goes by without anybody noticing that you're a huge Thunder fan.
Right. Come on now. Please.
Which then I'm just gonna ask, which leads me to that question. Durant, Westbrook, or Harden?
Easy question. Westbrook.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's where I got like my motivation from, and the way like I want to portray wrestling, because he was just such a loyalty to his team, and I love that. It was so hard, and I was like, I love it. I'm so glad I'm so sad he's gone, but I'm happy for him. Definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got John Wall out of it. You can do like the whole like thing that he
Right.
do back.
I'm like, yeah, we got something.
He brings a little thing. Well, he's an assist machine too. I like him. He's just a good down to earth dude too.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm curious, what brought you into the business of wrestling?
Wow. Of course, I always had the dreams of it as a kid, but as I started becoming older into a teenager, like that reality kind of like shut down. And it's crazy because like I had a whole like career ahead of me. Like I wanted to go to school and do like cinematography. I went to college for a little bit. Then one day, like I remember sitting in my college class and I was like, I don't want to do this. Then I just sat back and I'm like, what do I want to do for the rest of my life that I truly enjoy? And I was like, I want to be a wrestler. And at first I thought it was so crazy because I was out of shape. Like I didn't do anything. So even saying I want to be a wrestler was so crazy to me. So I'm glad that I stepped and did that and put the effort into it. So yes.
Oh, trust me. Like when I was like, I was in the military at the age of like 20, and then like I got out at 26, and I was like, what am I gonna do? I was like, I'm gonna go to school because that's what you're supposed to do. You go to college.
Yeah.
And I graduated, and I have 2 degrees, and I was like, what do I want to do? It was like, I want to do me. I was like, I'm a huge fan of The Rock and Cena. Like, I'm going into wrestling. My favorite wrestler is Rey Mysterio. I'm going into wrestling. And like,
exactly.
At the age of 36 or 35, turning 36 this year, I'm like, yeah, year number 2, let's go.
Yes, definitely. I'm just like, I just came to the conclusion. I'm like, you literally have one life to live. Like, chase your dreams and just live life as much as you can, honestly.
It's wild. That was the same conversation my wife and I just had just like a little bit ago before we started going. It's like, I'm chasing this goal. I'm making this dream happen. It's working.
Yeah, one life to live. Live it up.
I'm curious though, like while you're in the ring, everybody has one of these crazy stories. So I'm kind of curious about yours. What's been like one of the worst bumps you've taken?
Oh my goodness. Oh, let me think. Oh my goodness. Well, I haven't had necessarily a bad bump, but there's this move. I don't know if you've seen it. Rachel Rose. She has you in the corner sitting down, and like your chest is wide open, and she literally just comes and just drop kicks your chest, and you can't go anywhere, so you have to take it. That's like the worst. I hate it. I hate taking that.
Oh no, that does not sound fun at all.
Oh. And it's like every time I wrestle her, I know what's gonna come, so I just like I gotta take it.
I'll send you this video. I saw one. It was 2 females that are at Limitless. Actually, Basic Becca was one of them. Hi, Becca. I know you watched the show. So she took a drop kick, and so the way that she was laid out, right?
Yeah.
She took a drop kick, and her body just slid into the post, but it was like spine first, and like she just wrapped around it, and I was like, oh.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, and I was like, that was the finish of the match, and I was like, ooh, yeah, the spine don't bend that way.
Right. Oh man, yeah. Some of these girls are some troopers taking bumps. I'm with them, man.
Yeah, I was like, and there's parts where I'm watching like women's wrestling, and I'm like, yo, they hit a lot harder than some of the dudes.
That's literally, there's some girls I'm like, oh no, oh no. I hope I don't ever come across her.
Well, I've seen like, I mean, I know, you know, we talk about Queendom. I was like, I know Amber. Amber she can lay it in if she wants to. Like, I've watched a few of her matches where she just hits somebody, just lays
Right.
it in.
For Promise too, I'm like, oh man, she's crazy too. Even training with her, I'm like, oh no, don't hit me. Don't hit me. Man.
Oh man. I've seen, I was like, dang. I was like, oh, that sucks.
Girls are tough now, man.
Speaking of being hit, I'm just curious, what's the hardest that you've been hit?
I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but this woman she's based in Oklahoma and Texas too. Her name is Erica Torres. She's also a MMA fighter. So we were just training one day, and this was like when I first started, and she was the first person to ever really hit me. I think that was the hardest I've ever been hit, and I was like scared for my life. I was like, wow, so that's what it feels like to be hit in the face. Great.
It's funny because like, even when you think of like Thunder Rosa, like, you know, she's a trained fighter too.
Yes.
And everybody has like different power like in their punches, because
Right.
I imagine being punched by, well, I mean, imagine getting punched by Thunder, like you're feeling it for a while. But it's like every once in a while you meet those one person that you're like, they don't got that much power, and then you're just like, oh.
And it's crazy because it's the smallest people too. I'm just like, man, goodness.
And what's funny to me is like, I got rocked. I got rocked in a practice match with my best friend hi Chaz, who also runs the show with me. He rocked me, and like I got hit and just things went white for a quick second. And I was like, oh no, we're not doing this. We are laying this in now. Okay, we're turning this up.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I'll send you that video, because you can hear my trainer in the background. He's talking to a friend, and he's just like, hey, yo, prepare to see some of the stiffest shots you've ever seen.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm curious though, like once you have your match, right? Like, do you have a post-match meal or like a post-match ritual that you do?
Good. Okay, so I know before a show I cannot eat, and it's not even because like I'm hungry. It's just like I don't even think of food. So I'll probably wake up and eat breakfast and won't have my meal until after the match, and that's when I celebrate and I go all out. I'm like, let me save myself, because I know after this match I'm going to be craving some wings, some pizza. So I'll be going all out. After my match is over, I'm like, where are we eating at? Please. Oh man.
What is like, all right, so if you had a choice, like what's your go-to spot?
Ooh, definitely. I realize I go to Buffalo Wild Wings a lot.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah. I'm like, I love it.
What wings are you getting? I'm just curious. I'm just asking these questions now because I'm like, yeah, Beat-Ups is definitely the spot.
Now, for some reason, I've been addicted to lemon pepper lately. I don't know why, but lemon pepper has been like my biggest fan, and I love it. I'm here for lemon pepper.
Yeah, I'm down with some lemon pepper and some mango habanero. Is definitely like spot.
Oh my god, that sounds good.
I'm just curious too, right? So like every wrestler, every commentator, every ring announcer, every manager has one of these stories. So I'm sure you probably have one too, and I'm very curious about yours. What's been like one of your favorite fan interactions that you've had?
Oh man. It was actually my first time wrestling in Oklahoma, and there was this little light-skinned girl, and like it was just like looking into a mirror, and like she just came up to me and she said, I want to be just like you. And I'm just like, what? Like that's so crazy to me, because I felt like when I was younger I used to look up to like Mickey James and everyone else, and I'm like, wow, now I'm playing that role. Like, it just feels so crazy to me. So crazy.
Like, so, and I obviously can't relate to that, right? So I'm just very curious, like, what's it like to be, because I know, like, in the industry, right, it's as diverse as it is. There's
Yeah.
obviously, you know, so I'm very curious, like, being a woman of color going
Oh
through
yeah.
the industry, like,
Yeah.
what's it like? Like, what's it like being that role model for those kids, like, coming up? Like, how do you handle that pressure?
It's definitely inspiring, especially being from Oklahoma, where like the African American population is really low. So doing these shows in majority of white towns, like it's scary. I'm not gonna lie, it's really scary. But like I see like one or two black people in the crowd, I'm like, okay, I am a image, you know, saying like you can chase your dreams and do what you want. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to stay in this small town, just live your life to the fullest. So I'm glad that I'm a role model for just young kids that look like me.
That's awesome. So I'm very curious because this is like one of my other favorite questions to ask, and I ask this to every single person. Like, what advice would you give to up and coming wrestlers?
Oh man. Honestly, I say this a lot now, but just have fun. And I say this not in a bad way, but don't take it serious because of course you can take it serious, but like people's opinions or how people think of you, like that literally does not matter at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? To if you want to get somewhere, everything is up to you. So like you literally just have to like block people out and follow your own path. Don't look at anybody else's and don't compare your life to anybody else's. That was one thing I did really bad when I was young. I would say, oh, she's getting this place, he's going that place, and I had to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like God created my path just for me, so I'm gonna stay in my lane. So definitely that.
That's great. That's great advice. That's just great advice, and especially with the story behind it too. That's lit. Just here's like the new debut question that I really want to ask on this show is like, all right, so going into a new promotion and not being familiar with anybody, can you give us some do's and don'ts in the locker
Yeah.
room?
My goodness, I just did that like 3 times this month. Didn't know anybody. Um, of course, I would say just walk in with a positive attitude. I always try to find the promoters or the head people in charge first and speak. And now during Corona, like of course you don't have to shake everybody's hands, but I usually just like walk in the middle and I say, "Hey everyone," because you know it's just I try to only touch people that I'm wrestling just to make it easier for everybody. But I mean, I have not ran into any problems with anyone in any locker room, so I can get along with pretty much everybody. Like everybody's pretty chill. Like sitting in the locker room, it's really, you know what I'm saying, up to you on what you want to do. So I haven't ran into any problems, and there's nothing that I would just point out that's crazy that I say don't do, you know. I've been in pretty chill areas. I haven't ran into anybody crazy or anything.
Well, that's good. That's good to know that you haven't like run into like those don'ts.
Yeah, pretty
I,
chill.
I know for me, like my trainer was like the first show like I ever attended. He was like, "All right, man, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna walk in the door. I'm gonna introduce you to the promoter. You're gonna shake his hand, and
Yes.
we're gonna go from there. And then and then of course he was like, shake everybody's hand like that you're there. And now that Corona's a thing, I'm just gonna elbow bump everybody.
Yeah, like everyone, definitely.
And then,
Definitely.
oh, this was one that he told me too, and I was gonna share this and see what you thought. But like the first thing like he had said to me was, don't like just don't get into the ring, like ask.
Yes. Yes. That's a big one too. I always try to ask. Definitely. Because sometimes they can still be working on it or somebody else is in there. You know, that's a big one too.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So I remember like shaking the promoter's hand. I was like, hey, how's it going, sir? He's like, yeah. I was like, he's like, you excited for today? I was like, oh yeah. Like I know my role. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know where I'm on the
Right.
card. I was like, I know what he's looking like. Pointing my trainer, I was like, I know what he's expecting from me. What are your
Yeah.
expectations? And then we got done. I was like, can I get in your ring? He was just like, he was like, yeah, go ahead.
Definitely. I feel like asking is very respectful because it's like you're coming into somebody else's territory, you know? So I'm like, let me ask. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful or none of that at all.
Right. All right. So that is it for me for like all my hard hitting kind of questions. So I'm very curious. We're going to play a game. This is the best segment of this show, which is a 3-count podcast, 10-count questions. We're going to fire off 10 questions at you, rapid fast, whatever first comes to your mind. We're going to go from there.
Goodness.
So let's put on the imaginary timer. Bing. And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
Raw.
Favorite movie?
Lovely Bones.
Hey, that's a good movie. I like that. Sonic or Mario?
Sonic.
Favorite TV show?
Family Guy.
Unrelated question. Favorite character on Family Guy?
Definitely Stewie.
3 things that you would like to take with you on a deserted island.
Ooh, definitely my phone, water, and a journal.
Bet. Favorite actress?
Ooh, Zendaya.
Hey, let's go. I was just listening to The Greatest Showman actually earlier today. Best video game?
Oh my goodness. Call of Duty. I don't know which one it was, but I'm going to say Call of Duty.
There's like a million of them. Favorite podcast?
This one.
Yeah. I was like, I don't feel like this was preempted at all. Nominate somebody you want to see on the show.
Ooh. Let's go ahead and do Promise Braxton.
Let's do
Why
Promise.
him in here. Why not?
Yeah. And then last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this show. Favorite curse word?
Ooh. Can I say it?
Yeah, you can.
Motherfucker.
It is. I mean, that's such a great word. It is. There's no doubt. So all I need from you is to let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
Yes. So for my Twitter and Instagram, you can find me at Danni Bee OKC. And for my Facebook, you can find me at Danni Bee.
Hey, and there she is. Also, you can find her stuff on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Yes, you can. Go ahead and get a shirt. Why not?
Exactly. So with that being said, I'm the host of this show. This is the 3-Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. The host, me, Clifford Red Dog Miller. And as I said, this is Now Entering the Ring with the lovely Danni Bee. So you guys know what to do. Tune in to the next episode and be there, or psych, that's the only place you need to be, is right here. So we will catch you later. Peace. What's going on, 3-Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3count pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the3count podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3Count podcast also has merchandise. Oh, at ProWrestlingTees.com/the3Count pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.